everyone. Okay. Yeah. I'm Jel Suarez, a visual artist. This is my first time doing anything live or anything online live, so please bear with me. So Art Plus Magazine, thank you Art Plus Magazine for inviting me to participate in your Instagram takeover series. I present over a few questions about the effects of the pandemic and how it has affected art making and how I'm hopefully coping through all these. Hi, Faye. Okay, so I agreed to do this because as much as I'm anxious to do an Instagram live, I wanted to use this opportunity as an artist to speak out on certain issues during this difficult time. Gino, hello. Sorry, di ako maka-keep up with the comments. Alright, so first question. How has the pandemic affected you personally and your working conditions? So before everything that's happened, I was supposed to come back to Bacolod last March to fix my new studio that I initially rented out. I have been planning to relocate to Negros since the beginning of the year to continue my art practice in there. Uh, Life is way simpler and humbler in the province, and you spend less and you get more. Uh, Conditions are healthier, and I kind of agree that people will sooner or later move into the countryside after this pandemic. And as what they say, people will turn more into agriculture after this pandemic. Uh, Working far from the city, well, months ago, has has been a breather of sorts. I think life moves a bit slower. I mean, that's what everybody says in Bacolod, and like nothing is rushed, and being closer to nature, the trees and waters, kinds of give you a different perspective in everything you think and everything you do. Hi. But since the lockdown happened, these plans have been placed on halt. But nonetheless, even though I'm not spending this quarantine days with my own family, I'm thankful of the privilege to have spent the past months with people who have made me feel safe and sane throughout the lockdown. I guess the pandemic has made me reach out to my family more. I guess prolonged distance makes you realize a lot of things. Yeah, so I deal with a lot of books and paper materials, and I was lucky too that I was able to store a few materials before the lockdown happened. In terms of working condition, well, right now, as you can see, I'm doing this live inside the bedroom. I work in a temporary table area where I'm able to finish smaller to medium works or collages. Um, Working on collages can be a bit messy, but working on smaller spaces, ha, uh, working on smaller spaces, parang na-adjust yung process ko. Like, I clean up every after work I finish, which is also a good practice. It makes you realize the value of space in creating works. I have been maximizing the resources that I have right now to create, and during the middle of the quarantine, since naabutan ako ng lockdown here in Manila, wala din akong paper na magamit, so I've been doing all my collages now on book papers too. So I also got interested in paper making lately, and I like the idea of fusing the potential of the whole book when making my collages. So even the offcuts from my collages, I use them to create new paper. And I've made smaller ones recently because one of my artist friends, Nika Peralejo, if you're here, She lent me her mold and decor for paper making, so now I have tons of cardstocks for future works. Yeah. So these were made from the offcuts from my collages, and the other ones, the green ones, were made from lemongrass stalks. So it's fun experimenting with other materials to play with while spending this lockdown. And I think if you have more idle time during the lockdown, mas maraming time to experiment with more things. I can't complain much about the working condition. If anything, I think the pandemic has forced me to find more ways to create with whatever is available, and also rework or adjust my art making to whatever situation I'm in. Okay. Next question. How are you adapting to the new normal currently and in the long term? Okay, the new normal as a concept is still a bit of an alien term to me. Honestly, hi Aris. Honestly, I don't think we have reached that point yet where we're able to define what the new normal is. As currently we're fluctuating between the different possibilities of defining what is normal now. Yeah, I guess it's yet to be defined. The pandemic has revealed for us many things, and it has revealed different things on a personal scale and on a social level, and it has magnified the inequalities and imbalances in our society, which is, I think, a great opportunity for us to change old patterns na we're used to. Okay, so, but somehow I'm also afraid that this new normal will be, that the new normal will be abused by those who are holding power or those who are leading players in this crisis. In the long term, I hope this opens up the society again to redefine what is just or what is right, and that the new normal won't be defined only those who are in power. The first month has been full of heightened anxiety and uncertainty, and I think it triggered a lot of stress and fear for all of us. And in trying to adapt to the situation, I've focused on being more self-aware in a sense. So many old habits have been disrupted by the pandemic, and this sense of disruption has also highlighted the difficulties that we have been experiencing before, but we more easily ignore. I think lately, I feel like I've been trying to connect myself more to other people, and at the same time use that feeling of isolation to exercise self-compassion. In the long term, I want to get rid of the old or unhelpful patterns I've conditioned myself by showing willingness to feel how I feel, practicing more compassion for myself and with other people, and creating more connection with other people. I think these transformative ways help me to get stronger emotionally through this crisis. Uh, Third question, what are your ongoing and future projects? Right now, I'm working on small to medium works for a couple of galleries, for Drawing Room and Blank Gallery. Galleries have also been affected by the pandemic, and I'm happy that they're trying to reach out to younger artists to promote and sell our works through different initiatives. Every week, I also have this online workshop or meeting of sorts with 6 other artists, including Gary Ross Pastrana, who is curating our upcoming group show. This weekly meeting has been also a break from too much thinking, as there's something to look forward to every week. Parang it gave a sense of schedule when everything seems to be out of time during the extreme lockdown. So, hi guys, if you're watching. I'm also drafting plans as I prepare for my solo exhibition with West Gallery, which was supposed to open this July. But since the lockdown happened, it was moved on October. Uh, right. Next, what do you think is the role of art during this pandemic situation? I think with or without the pandemic, art has always had this role to reflect the times, but more than creating works, like producing works during the pandemic, I think the artist has a role of using their voice to protest, to resist, or to protect our democracy, especially during this time. Artists have no right to be silent in our situation right now, and more than producing work, I think artists should make a stand and encourage people to fight against injustices, and reveal the abuse of power happening during this crisis, especially now that we are faced with the danger of the anti-terrorism bill. Um, art, art is a privileged space that creates reflection on what matters and what it means to be alive today, and on different ways it contributes possible healing and I think power to dissent. One artist shared this piece written by Kokoy Lumbao the other day. Hi Leslie. So she shared this article Kokoy Lumbao wrote for medium.com about the value of creative labor in the time of this crisis. It's a good reflection of the artist's role these days if you guys want to check it out. Hi. Hi, Toki. Hi, Gallery, Stephanie. So, next question. How would you like to remember these times? Uh, the pandemic has given us lots to think about and lots of time to do that thinking. I would like to remember this time as that period in our lives when I know I was able to add into the healing of other people, even in the smallest ways. How this was a time of isolation, yet how this was a time that isolated yet connected us to more in a different level, and how it brought everything together. Um, I don't want to remember the pandemic in terms of how many died or how many suffered from COVID. Just as how some people will remember the war on drugs in numbers. Uh, I, hindi ko lang siya gusto na what do you call this? Yeah, I don't want to look back at this pandemic in numbers. These things are ongoing, and when we resort to numbers, we also tend to forget or distort the pain and the traumas of this situation. I want to talk about this pandemic in the future with lessons and understanding of how we won over the crisis and how we topple the abuses of those who are in power. Okay, is there any message or advice that you would like to share with the art community and the public? Okay, I guess donate if you're capable. Contribute in educating other people by sharing helpful information, by fact checking and staying vigilant. Um, participate in conversations, attend protests if you can, and advocate for what is right. Um, being comfortable in our homes and not worrying about the food that we will be eating later is a total privilege during these times. It's a privilege not to be poor, and recognizing this should make us all more sensitive that most of us do not enjoy or do not share our relatively comfortable situations. Boasting publicly about how blessed you are is not caring at all, and whatever privilege we have rests on the labor of others. Uh, we should be critical of policies what bubulol ako, of being implemented, and it's easy to say to not complain or to just follow the rules because it's convenient, but it's I think people should practice empathy and kindness all the more, and also stay in your homes, but at the same time stay angry for the social good. Um, yep, I guess that's it. Thank you. Art Plus, Mars, okay na ba yun? Thank you, Art Plus, for sharing this platform with me and letting me voice out these sentiments. Thank you to everyone who's tuning in right now. I guess let's continue to demand for mass testing, better healthcare, to fight back in different ways for our rights, to call those who are in power to jump the anti-terrorism bill, and I guess let's always look for each other. Yun lang. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye. Sorry, sobrang cut short. Bye!